the end zone. He's got Simpkins caught in for the touchdown. Deshaun Simpkins with the snag.
Looking up to Sims Marshall. Home run down for Jalen Marshall. He's got a touchdown.
It is week 6 here in Beckett Ridge, along with Archer's uncle Kevin Zilch. I'm Geoff Kim. And if you knew exactly what had to go on for us to get on the air tonight, you wouldn't believe it. But here we are, and we are ready to see the number 3 team in the state, Lakota West, in with a record of 5-0 against Hamilton, the Big Blue, in with a record of 2-3. Kev, as we catch our breaths here momentarily and talk through this a little bit, we mentioned that West is perfect right now, 5-0. They're tied atop the GMC, the Greater Miami Conference, along with Fairfield. They also have a 4-0 conference record, which is also tied with Mason, who West will face a week from tonight. On the other side, Hamilton's in the middle of the pack, 1-3 in the conference. They are 2-3 overall, and their defense has played very, very well.
Well, the defense has played very well, but really it's their struggles on offense that have really not produced what they needed to produce this year. And, you know, they've made a change at quarterback last week. You know, they'll go with Nasir Harper at quarterback. So they're trying some different things. You know, we know the offensive coordinator, J.D. Vonderheide, very, very well. We know what his, dynamic. I think we saw him in Hamilton 3 times last year. So he runs a very dynamic offense. But I think you and I have made a great point is that they seem to be in these 3rd and long situations constantly. So that tells me that, you got to start focusing on your production on 1st and 2nd down more so. So be interesting to see with a new quarterback what that does for Hamilton's offense. And as we get towards your keys to the ball game, to that point, Hamilton on the season, 8 of 56 on 3rd downs. That's 14.3%. Yeah, you're not going to win many football games doing that, especially in the league that the GMC is this year. You got to be able to commit for 3rd downs. And, again, I think that kind of goes back to my point that, when you're in those 3rd and really unmanageable positions, constantly – that's a hard thing to do. Every once in a while, that's one thing. But again, when you have that type of ratio on 3rd down, it's really hard to win games. You just look at what they did last week to a Lakota East team that really probably they could have beaten. But again, it's just their lack of offensive output has been there. But again, to your point, the defense has been there all year long and giving teams fits all year long. Part of your keys to the ball game as we zero in with Zilch? Well, really, right now for Hamilton, I think this is literally, I think, the first key to the game for every opponent that Lakota West has played. But you got to figure out a way to keep Mitch Bolden and that offense on the sideline. Because right now they're scoring so quickly. It's hard to gain that momentum back. Looks like we're paused here for the national anthem right now. But again, that's another key to the game. You gotta produce on 3rd down. You gotta convert on 3rd down. So I think those 2 things are going to be huge for Hamilton here tonight. Lakota West, start fast. Start fast, start early, start often. I think that's the name of the game for the offense for Lakota West. And really, the highlight that, one thing I'm going to talk a lot about tonight is the defense for Lakota East as well. They need to come to play. They've got numerous guys with 30-plus tackles already on the year, so I can look forward to seeing that even continue here tonight. As we're getting a look at the full band, the junior high kids along with the big high schoolers here, to your point in talking about the proficiency of the Lakota West offense, they are averaging 37 points a ball game. That is a snootful. Yeah, right there, you're gonna win a lot of football games when you're doing that. And then they're only giving up 6.6 on average on defense. So that's a very, very good ratio to have. I don't care who you are. You're winning most games 37-6 is basically what that tells me right there. So again, their offensive output has been really, really strong so far this season. We did see them, I'm not going to say struggle. I'm not going to say struggle against Oak Hills, but Oak Hills gave them fits, I think is the best way to put that. But Oak Hills' defense has really been giving people fits all year long. That is a differential, by the way, of 30.6 per ball game. On the other side for Hamilton, they are -5 a ball game this year. While they're only giving up 17 points a ball game, and that's a better than average defense in the GMC, they're only scoring about 12 points a ball game. And also talking with R.V. Crouch, the head coach, and with J.D. Vonderheide, one of the offensive coordinators for this team,
they had kind of some wide eyes on kind of just thinking about the challenge tonight on trying to move the ball.
Well, I think that's one of the things. And I think what you, in my opinion, what you do if you're Hamilton is you get the ball to your athletes in space. So screen passes, dump off passes, whatever you want to look like. That would be the way I would approach this game here tonight. Is I'm not going to, the up the middle is not going to be there, I don't think, with this Lakota West offense.
Ready now, let's give you the starting lineups here in this ball game. When visiting Hamilton takes field on offense, they are 2-3, 1-3 in the GMC. R.V. Crouch is their head coach in his first year with this program. In his 14th year overall, 97-51. His quarterback is Nasir Harper, 6'3", 240 pounds, a junior, 5 of 16 on the season. Came in relief of Nick Lindsay a week ago, 50 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, and a rating of 57.5. He'll run with Samaj Aldrich at running back. The wide receivers are Sir Charles Riggins, Hassan Robertson, and R.J. Shepard. The tight end is Luke Ollis. The left tackle is Caden Bennett. The left guard, Jeremiah Hutcherson. Tyler Camden's the center. Caleb Taylor, the right guard. And the right tackle is Devon Mick. On defense for the Lakota West Firebirds at 5-0, 4-0 in the GMC. Tom Bolden, their head coach, in his 4th year with this program, 31-7. In his 16th year overall, 163-28. The left guard, or the left end, beg your pardon, is Gabriel Flores. The nose guard is Kofi Bobby, and the right end is Elijah Davis. 4 linebackers, Jacob Asbeck, Micah Markley, Mike Brancap, and Tabron Benny Powell. The corners are Drew Minich and Josh Fussell, Malik Hartford and Ben Minich, perhaps the best safety tandem in all the entire state. On the other side, when Lakota West gets on offense, it's Mitch Bolden at 6'1", 202 pounds, a senior, 55 of 98 on the season, 829 yards, 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He has a rating of 154.7. Wades Gonzalez is who we expect to see start at running back. Trent Lloyd, Malik Hartford, Ben Minich, and Brendan Remy at wide receiver. The left tackle is Tony Curtis, Mikey Gertz, the left guard. The center is Alex Key, Johnny Simpson's the right guard, and Caden Fletcher is the right tackle. On defense for the Big Blue, Trey Verdon, the left end. Ebony Curry, the nose guard. The right end is Gabe Verdon. 3 linebackers, Hassan Robertson, Laney Ash, and Wes Fox. The corners are Jalen Morris and Javon McClain. And 3 safeties, Jalen Garrett, Carter Isaacs, and Marlon Reed. The latter of the 3 leading the GMC in interceptions with 3 so far this year.
Well, and really just looking at that defense, what you just ran out there, I mean, you know, one person that stands out to me, and I've talked about him a lot, but, you know, Jacob Asbeck, 6.5 sacks already this year, 10 tackles for loss. He's been a menace, and the last time you and I were together, Jeff, I mean, he had a whale of a game. At his really, you know, they call him, you know, the Jack. I really call him kind of a rover end. You'll see him down. You'll see him up. You'll see him really all over the place. And when you have that type of dynamic player that you're able to put on defense in different positions, you know, it fits very well into this 3-3-5 type defense that Coach Bolden runs. And that's exactly, you know, the mastermind of it, Steve Speck over at St. Xavier. That's what he does so well. He always has that one guy on defense that he can move around, and that's what that defense is so great at doing and allows you to do as a coach.
Tonight's officials, the referee is Jay Cooper. Don Winders, the umpire, the line judge, Charles Williams. The linesman is Tony Civarella, and the back judge is Randy Iman. Game time temperature, 64 degrees. We expect this one will get down into the high 50s tonight. Just a slight cross breeze northeast at 1 mile an hour, and the humidity at 51%. So as pleasant as you can imagine. In talking with R.V. Crouch prior to the ball game, he says this is football weather.
This is it right here. I mean, this is, you got that little chill in the air just a little bit. You woke up this morning, went out, walked the dog, was like, ooh, it's here. It's finally here. And it just feels amazing. And, you know, it's a great Friday night here. The stands are absolutely packed to the brims. So ready to rock and roll with this one. Week 5 action. Here we go.
Lakota West will receive. They'll attack the north end zone. They'll go left to right as you're watching us here on the screen. Connor Stevens will kick things away from the 40-yard line for Hamilton. Clad in the visiting whites with the blue trim and numerals. It's the red tops tonight for Lakota West. The black helmets with the red trim and the white pants and numerals here as well. We're expecting a short kickoff, and away we go. A short one here, taken at the 45-yard line. We weren't kidding.
Yeah, that was very short. You got to be ready for that. I don't know if that was by design or honestly it looked like it. Sometimes that you can use that if they have dangerous returners. But yeah, interesting way to start. But hey, you're going to give this potent offense really good field position to start here on their first drive.
Mitch Bolden, as we had mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the quarterback, 829 yards this year, 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He'll open up at quarterback. And we see Giovanni Wilson starting tonight. He's in a slot to the left, up towards the top of your screen. And we'll see if they go up top on play number 1. They motion Wilson, play action, and now here's the long one, complete! And here is 6 coming on up. 10-5, goodbye, touchdown. One play does it all. Ben Minich, 55 yards.
Well, there it is. That was real quick. One of the keys to the game was score quick, score often. And, well, they checked the box on one of those right there. Quick, 6 points for the Lakota West right now.
So Minich gets his second catch of the year. His first came in the St. X game, a 2-yard touchdown. This one goes a little further, 55 yards. And it's 6-0 as we await Tyler Bond. And the lefty puts it up and through, 7-0, 10 seconds into this ball game. Mercy, what a start.
Well, hey, that's one way to start. There was some chatter on Twitter, I think, throughout the week. And I think that kind of fired up the Lakota West offense a little bit. But yeah, a heck of a way to start. That's the perfect way to start. Now when starting fast like that is great. Still got a lot of football left to play. So that's the key is you got to keep your guys, level-headed, bring them back down to earth, let them enjoy it for a second, but say, hey guys, we got a whole heck of a lot of football left to play here.
Tyler Bond from his own 40. And I expect we'll see a much deeper kick than the one that we just saw literally 10 seconds ago in terms of game time. 7-0 to start things off here in Beckett Ridge. The state's number 3 team making an initial statement with a big exclamation point here to start things off.
And that was just absolutely insanely fast. I mean, how quickly they've done that. And that's what they've done. We saw that all last year. They went up top, number 1 play of the game a lot. So that's what they like to do, and they're in the driver's seat right now this game.
Pinwheeling kick taken at the 2. And this one will be returned. Up to the 10, up the middle, and angling to the left is the return man. And if you remember in this game a year ago between the two contestants, as that one was returned by R.J. Shepard, who had a 90-plus yard touchdown return on a kickoff last week. If you remember our game a year ago over at the Schwarm, we saw Elijah Givens with a 92-yarder.
That was a wild one. I mean, we had a couple returns in that game. That was an absolutely insane game over at the Schwarm.
So 11:44 left to play here in this opening quarter. 7-0 Lakota West. And we see, is it Gabe Verdon? Do we see 30?
Is that number?
We're looking for a number. We're seeing 31 duck in under center, I believe. Well, actually, we're looking for the quarterback who is ducked in under center. And the quarterback keeping, and actually it will be, as we're taking a look, we had a bit of a surprise here on getting started and who would actually start at quarterback tonight.
Well, I think what you saw there was you saw the tight end get into almost like a tight fullback position. You'll kind of see it again here. He was even more up on the last play, so they're running this kind of pistol-style offense right now.
So that was Nasir Harper,
yeah,
who is listed as number 5 out in the pistol, and they'll show pistol again after the loss of 2. 2nd and 12. And a hand to Aldridge, looking for space. And one of the things, as he pushes forth back to the original line of scrimmage, that Coach R.V. Crouch really preached was put a foot in the ground and go straight up the field and don't worry about the contact.
Well, I think if you look at it, he's had a lot of big plays but there's only been 3 of those big plays that have basically accumulated for all of his yards this year, or a large portion of it. So to his point, you want to hit the hole and fall forward for those.
So 3rd and 10. Hamilton on third downs this year, 14.3%. So they're in the hole, 3rd and 10. Roll left for the quarterback, and this one throw to the sideline, no one's home. Intended out there for Samaj Aldridge, 3 and out.
You know, I like that play call. You get your athletes the ball in space, and I think that's what they need to do. Now you just got to get the quarterback to give them the football. But if I'm Hamilton, that's what I'm doing, because right now, clearly, the middle is not going to be there. We just saw that. Hasn't really been there for them all year long. So I'm going to focus on getting those guys, just like that last play was designed there, to get them out in space. But right now, the 3rd and longs just killing them, Hamilton right now.
Brendan Remy at his own 40-yard line. They're playing back for the return. This one a little short, and Remy takes it on a couple of bounces and right about the 40-yard line. 36 yards on the punt, nothing on the return, and just like that, Lakota West is back on offense with 10:07 left to play here in quarter number 1.
Well, real quick opening series for both teams. 3 and out for Hamilton and a touchdown on one play for Lakota West. We'll see. I'm interested to see what they do when they come back here now, because you know I think right now what we're looking at, and you know they know their matchups. They know that they can get down the field with Lakota West. So I'm interested, or Hamilton, excuse me. I'm interested to see, does Lakota West kind of start running the ball here now, or do they still go down, air it out?
Play action and roll left by the quarterback, and he'll take a loss. Closest one to him was Trey Verdon out on that defensive line.
This Hamilton defense is tough. This is not a team that gives up a lot of points. It's not a team that gives up a lot of yards. So, yeah, they got a quick one on them, but that was one play. There's a lot more to go with this, and, I think Hamilton's defense, once they settle in here, will hopefully gain some ground on them. And we got a penalty real quick now. Illegal motion. Lloyd was in motion. You feel like that was the jet sweep coming around. Looks like I thought they might have 2 guys in motion at the same time, which you obviously can't do.
Well, after the success of that very first play from scrimmage, you're now wondering if Lakota West has settled back, thinking, hey, we've got a lead, let's get comfortable, and maybe you got to play with a little bit of urgency here.
Well, that's my thing, is get back on your script and what you want to, what your game plan is. You scored quick, great. Now let's get a drive together. Let's really work the game plan.
So the penalties on Hamilton, move 5, and it's 2nd and 9 with 9:25 left to go here in the opening quarter. Triples to the near side, and now we've got yet another flag. Miami University Regionals is accepting applications for 2023 classes with over 30 majors offered in person and online. You can design a schedule that fits your needs and start earning your Miami degree, conveniently located in Hamilton, Middletown, Westchester, and online. Learn more at miamioh.edu/regionals.
Looks like it was encroachment again on Hamilton, so they're having a hard time lining up on the football here.
Well, you don't want to do the number 3 team in the state any favors. 2nd and 4. Bolden back to pass, and now he'll opt to run, call his own number, and he's close to a first down. Mitch on the year has run the ball 59 times. That's attempt number 60 officially, or 61. He did take a loss on that first play from scrimmage here in this drive for 279 yards and a couple of touchdowns. So they move the chains on the running play, and it's 1st and 10 as Lakota West is back in Hamilton territory. Remy's a split end to the top of your screen. Twins on each side, and Bolden back to pass. He steps through, and now breaks contain, and now he's dropped in the backfield.
Well, I'll tell you what, he had, I believe that was Remy wide open. The defensive back for Hamilton actually fell down and slipped on the turf. Just got to give him more time, but that was another touchdown right there for Lakota West.
Hassan Robertson in for the tackle for loss, or the sack, if you will. That's a loss of 4 on the play, and Lakota West is backed up on their side of the 50. A loss of 4. 8:13 to play here in this opening quarter, 7-0. A little bit of a faster start tonight for the men of Tom Bolden than the last couple of times we've seen them.
to see
They
here.
motion Gonzalez, and now they have a throwback screen to the opposite side and a good gain here on second down.
Well, they call that a tunnel screen, and basically Remy just kind of came in from the other side. You get two linemen out there to block. Great play call there. I love that. Now you're in a third and manageable position. You went from being in a second and 14. Now you're in a second and 4, let's call it. And that's exactly what it is. So now you're in a third and 4. That's manageable. That's what you want to do in that type of situation, that second down play call there.
That's reception number 21 for Brendan Remy, a pickup of 10. Team leader in receptions and yards this year, third and manageable. And they give to the running back who takes it up ahead for the first down. Good run for Tabron Benny Powell, who's getting some offensive snaps now. He needed 4, got 6.
Well, they've kind of been going by running back by committee a little bit. They haven't really figured out who that definitive running back is with the loss of Cam Good to graduation last year. So it might just be that that's the way they roll with things this year. You don't exactly know who you're going to get in the backfield for Lakota West.
Well, if you recall, Tabron had been a running back over at Lakota East, and now he gets the ball again off the left end into space. He has a first down and more across the 25 before he's pushed back. So on first down, he picks up 12 and moved the chains.
Great job there. I mean, and that's what he wants. And one thing that I notice that he does so well is he has amazing vision, throughout. And he's able to find that hole and plant his foot and get upfield. Exactly what Coach Crouch wants his running back to do. That's what Tabron Benny Powell is able to do here for Lakota West.
They're going to spot the ball back to the 24, so officially a pickup of 11. First and 10 at the 24-yard line. And again, Lakota West cruising towards the red zone. And yet we have another flag. West is averaging just about 332 yards of offense this year and giving up about 189. On the other side, Hamilton, 135 yards of offense per ball game, giving up about 220 and a half yards per contest. And it's against Lakota West. And is that the third penalty of this drive?
That is. I think that's the first one, though, on Lakota West.
Tonight's referee is Jay Cooper. So no mic on Jay. And we're left to guess. Obviously a legal procedure. And it's first and 15. And Bolden will empty out the backfield, looking deep middle. And it is incomplete and nearly picked off.
Well, I'll tell you what. Mitch had a guy in his face real quick on that. Was forced to make a throw really into double coverage. But there were two guys down there almost in the same spot for Lakota West, so, all's well that ends well, I guess, on that front.
They were looking for Luca Gilbert, the big tight end, running down the seam. We haven't called his name, if at all, this entire year, but he was going to get an opportunity to try to get 6. And that's the first incompletion tonight for Bolden. 2 for 3 so far here in the early ball game. 7-0 with 6:07 frozen on the clock. Bolden with a quick count. And the give to the running back, and up to the challenge is Hamilton. Great job out there for Wes Fox, the outside linebacker.
Well, he's been all over the place. Wes has been really moving around very well. What I'm noticing is that their linebackers are seeing things very quickly, and they're getting into the play very quickly. So that'll be interesting to see how that progresses. Again, I'll go back to it. This is a good Hamilton defense that is going to make you earn about every yard that you're going to get here tonight for Lakota West.
Lakota West, 22 of 40 on third down this year. That's 55%. Third and 16, roll left Bolden. He looks, he throws, and it is incomplete.
Had his guy there for sure.
Giovanni Wilson, incomplete as that one. He had to short hop it, and it's fourth down. And you're going to bring on the kicking team. And we're going to get to see the left leg of Tyler Bond. This one from 46 yards away. Out of the hold of Aaron Peters, Mike Gertz is the long snapper. He kicks it, pinwheels it to the crossbars, and good. From 46 yards out, he makes it 10-0. So Tyler now is Tyler now is 5 for 5 on field goals this year.
Well, very important there for Lakota West, to get points out of that drive. Now you got pretty much a two-score kind of lead going on right now. So you create that cushion there, and that's what you want to have moving down, because like I said, this Hamilton Big Blue defense is going to make you earn it. We saw it on that drive right there. That wasn't a quick hitting drive for Lakota West. They had to earn, especially in the running game. This defensive line and the linebacking core for the Big Blue, they're fierce and they're getting in there, and Mitch has already been pressured, so I'm sure the offensive line right now is working to maybe get some of their calls down, get some shifts and motions on their line to try and compensate for what they're seeing the Big Blue give them.
9-play drive that soaks up just under 5 minutes, 4 minutes and 50 seconds. It culminates in a 46-yard Bond field goal, and it's 10-0. Meanwhile, we have the Hamilton kickoff and a good return up to the 27-yard line. So a good return for R.J. Shepard, who did have the long kickoff return for the touchdown last week against Lakota East.
Now we just got to see if the Hamilton offense can get anything going here. I mean, that's what they got to do. They got to put a drive together, keep that Lakota West offense off the field, and just really try and get first downs here and move the ball down the field, which they have not been able to do so tonight.
Harper's a big kid at quarterback, by the way. 6'3", 240 pounds, just a junior. So he came in relief of the starting quarterback, Nick Lindsay, who had started the first 5 of the year. He came in late in the first quarter and has taken command of the offense since. And if you caught the Big Blue show on Monday, as Harper hands, Samaj Aldridge sprints right, has some room, and good yardage on first down for Samaj Aldridge. Close to a first down.
Well, that's what you got to do. Get Samaj out there in space. He's got a small frame to him, which means he can hide behind those linemen and find those little holes in there. But I really think that the middle is not going to be there for Hamilton tonight. You see him kind of going hurry up here as well.
And they'll hold shop after a pickup of 11. Aldridge, who was injured in the game that you and I saw in Week 1 against West Claremont, basically missed the entirety of the rest of the season after that, has been tabbed as a starting running back to replace Caleb Johnson, the 4-star, who has since gone on to the University of Iowa. Lakota West showing blitz with under 5 to play here in this opening quarter.
Making a play change there, looks like, for Hamilton.
And Aldridge caught in the backfield. Jacob Asbeck cleans them up.
Well, that play was really doomed from the beginning for Hamilton. I mean, that was kind of a weird developing play. They had a really awkward motion to the right side, which I almost thought they were going to try and hand it off, but the motion was really slow. So just a really awkward play for Hamilton there, and obviously Asbeck was able to get right in there and make a big stop.
Caught a loss of 4 on the play. Back to the 35-yard line. Elijah Davis got that one started. Interrupted Aldridge, and by the time Aldridge could get his feet reset, there was Asbeck. Leading sack man in the GMC this year at 6.5. And Aldridge again off the right side. Again, no surprise on the runs so far, and a gain of about 1. Hamilton averaging just about 69% of their plays as runs on offense this year.
Well, and when you have that, but obviously they haven't been able to get to these third downs. Here's another 3rd and 14, 3rd and long situation. They got to figure out a way to stop getting in these type of 3rd and longs. So this is what has really shot themselves in the foot all year long, and you can kind of see it developing here tonight as well.
Triplets to the bottom of your screen and a roll left for the quarterback, and this one's too high, and we may have a late hit on that one. Intended for Samaj Aldridge out of the backfield.
Yeah, you're going to get holding here on the left side for Hamilton. Excuse me, on the left side for Hamilton. I believe their left tackle got some jersey there, but again, another situation there where you just can't convert on a 3rd and long for Hamilton. If they're going to be in that type of situation all night, it's going to be a long night for them.
So they'll decline, Lakota West will, and get the ball back with 3:21 left to go here in this first period. Up by 2 scores already, 10-0. Punter is Wes Fox, one of the linebackers. Low snap, and they'll come after him, and he'll have to run towards the sideline, and he'll get tackled out at the 35-yard line. So a great special teams tackle out there. Mike Brandkamp knocked him down.
Well, great awareness there by the punt return team for Lakota West. You know, in that type of situation, that's a tough one for the punter. You know, I've always coached it, hey, punt the football. You now become a rugby punter. Get the ball down the field, you know, and know your situation. You're in a third and long, 3rd and 14. Odds are you're not going to gain 14 yards. So punt the ball, just get the ball away, and let's live to fight another down.
Best starting field position of the night for Lakota West at the Hamilton 35-yard line. They go triples to the top side, and a pair to the bottom of your screen as Bolden empties out the backfield, looking to pass. Steps up with time. He throws to the sideline. Complete to Trent Lloyd. And move the chains on a first down catch.
Great catch by Trent Lloyd. Able to drag the foot inbounds and able to get the reception. That was close, but a great job and great awareness to know where he's at on the field and recognize where the sideline is.
Pickup of 17. That's the 11th catch this year for Trent Lloyd, or as we like to call him around here, the New York City Diner, because he's open all night. Twins to each side. And they motion Minich in an orbit. And now the throwback screen to Malik Hartford down the sideline. He has the angle for 6. 16-0 Lakota West.
Great play call, great play design by the coach, Jerry Bouchamp. That was basically a fake to the left, a tunnel screen back to the right to Malik Hartford. Wow, what a play that was for Lakota West, and they put 6 more up on the board.
Second touchdown pass tonight for Mitch Bolden. He now has 12 on the year. Aaron Peters will hold for Tyler Bond. Mikey Gertz to snap it. And the kick is away. And it's 17-0, just that fast, with 3:01 left to go.
That was quick, and I'll tell you what, I kind of peeked over to the coach's box down the right side of us, and they were all high-fiving. I think that was a play that we had never really seen them run before, and I think that was something they might have juiced up just for this week, especially with some of the chatter that was going on there. You know, that'll get the coaches even going. They're going, all right, I'm going to pull out my stops here now. We're going to go to what we call our gadget plays and see what they can do with this. So, you know, I think that's kind of what we saw over there in the coach's box next to us. But, again, great play design. That's what you're going to need, especially against a defense like this. It's just going to give you fits all night long. You know what I mean? They're not going to dominate you, but they're going to give you fits, and that's what you got to do. You got to kind of think outside the box, and now you kind of got that Hamilton defense going, wow, we got to play more base, and that keeps them level-headed now. Are you going to the right, the left, up the middle? You don't quite know. And so that forces the defense to now all of a sudden play a little bit more base, hopefully open up those running lanes on the inside for Lakota West.
2-play drive. It takes 14 seconds off the clock. The capper, the 18-yarder to Malik Hartford, his first touchdown of the year. Point after is good, 17-0. Here's a kick to Bond, from Bond, and it's a little short one by his standards, taken at the 4-yard line. And return man angles to the left, down the sideline, across the 30, flag on the play, and a good return for R.J. Shepard, who is really a thriller on special teams.
Really is. And I'll tell you one thing, you know, I was a special teams coach, you know, with a kicker that kicked the ball out of the end zone probably 95% of the time. So that's always concerning when you don't get one out of the end zone. They come back because your guys just aren't ready for that. It looks like that penalty was going to be on or is on Hamilton.
It is.
Didn't see what the signal was.
Looked like a block in the back.
Okay, that makes sense from where they're putting it right now. But, yeah, that was always a fear of mine. It's like, oh, gosh, these guys are not ready for this. And then, boom, you know, you get a good return there. So that's something I'm sure Lakota West special teams group will start looking at a little bit more.
By the way, R.J. Shepard's given first name is Romeo, but he does like to go by R.J. 2:54 left to go here in this first period. 17-0, the number 3 team in the state, out to the expected lead. And the end around is Shepard. who's trying to find a seam and has none to be found, and a great job by Lakota West stringing it out to the sideline. First one in there, Tabron Benny Powell.
Well, and I think what you see right there is just how well coached this Lakota West defense is. You saw all those straight line pursuit angles to the sideline. You had guys with depth. You had guys to make sure that plug the holes, and that's what you need to have, and that's what you want to have, and that's the sign of a really well coached defensive front when you start seeing them be able to pursue laterally and keep their pursuit angles.
Shepard picks up 4, 2nd and 6. And again, another pistol look for the quarterback, Nasir Harper. And Samaj Aldridge cuts up the middle, angles right for about a yard. Or was that, we're looking for a number on that. Aldridge has a smaller number, and I thought we saw 24 out on the field. In any case, it's a gain of about 1 on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd and short.
You know, with all this running that Hamilton has done, I'm wondering when are they going to go to the play-action game and start trying to get the ball, stretch the ball down the field a little bit, you know?
Triples to the bottom of your screen. 3rd and 6. Back to passes Harper. Blitzed, and now he steps up and he'll run for it, and he is dropped. And it'll be 3 and out. Kofi Bobby, the first one in there, 3 and out.
You know, another one. And again, I kind of go back to that. You know, you've been running the ball with Samar so consistently. I think you got to kind of change it up here and go to that play-action game and start at least attempting to get the ball down the field. Now, that would be my thing. That would be where I would go if I'm the Hamilton Big Blue coaches.
The return man is Remy, waiting at his 40-yard line. He comes up for it, calls fair catch at the 47, and now he angles to the right. He's on the run, and now he gets clotheslined, and there's a flag at the end of the play here. So we're going to have to sort this one out. It looked like he waved a hand up for a fair catch, and then he took off, and then the unintended damage at the end of it as he crossed midfield was the clothesline shot. With 42 seconds left to go, and I'm just hoping Brennan's okay.
Me too, and, you know, right now, I'm with you. I thought I saw his hand go up, but I saw – when he returned that ball, he almost looked back to the referee like, are you going to blow a whistle? And he never did. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But, yeah, we got to make sure that, Brennan Remy is all right. That was a pretty dramatic hit there on the sideline, clothesline tackle. And those are some of the most dangerous ones you can have because you're whipping the neck around so much.
And we did not hear a whistle, at least from up here, on what we thought was a fair catch.
Right.
So we're still waiting to sort things out. The referee tonight is Jay Cooper, the young man in the white hat tonight, right in the middle of your picture. 17-0. So, and understandably, you see R.V. Crouch coming out to middle of the field, and he's not happy because he saw the fair catch signal as well.
And I think if I'm trying to read motions and read body language here, it looked like the referee went over to him and said, no, he didn't put his hand up. It was out to the side, and that's not a fair catch. I'm always erring on the side of caution that if you put your hand laterally anywhere up, you fair caught the football. I mean, in my opinion, that's just a safety thing, you know, for me, for what we just saw happen right there is what can happen when that doesn't go on.
So as we try to sort this one out, the ball is spotted at the 25-yard line as Lakota West attacks the north end here in Beckett Ridge.
This is where we need to have instant replay back, you know, in high school football, because that would have solved it real quick right there.
Gonzalez lining up with Bolden in the backfield. They motion Wilson, who gets the ball on the sweep, and now he cuts back and returns back the other way, and he's got some jets out to the sideline, to the 20. Now another cutback, and either a flag or a shoe had flown up as he makes his way out towards the 15-yard line. A lot of histrionics for about 10 yards.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think they're going to get Hamilton on a face mask. So that's going to move the ball even more forward. But I thought was even funnier there was Mitch Bolden turned back to make a block and almost kind of juked his guy out. Mitch didn't want to make the block. I know that because he didn't want to get hurt, and it was going to be a big block there. But that was interesting. But, yeah, I saw the face mask happen right at the end of that play. So it'll be an even more, more yards off these penalties now for Lakota West.
They'll spot the ball at the 10-yard line. First and we'll call it goal. First and goal at the 10-yard line with 31 seconds left to go. Bolden calls for it. Deep drop with time. He throws, and it is nearly picked off. Wes Fox had eyes on a pick six out towards the seam, and Bolden's lucky to get another throw here on this drive.
Well, I literally had a direct line, and he threw that straight through the defender's hands. I mean, literally was right there and just missed his guy. So we'll see what they can do here on second down. You know, for this Hamilton Big Blue defense, they really got to hunker down right here.
You call a run here in this situation?
You know, in second down and 10, I would probably get to the edge. You know, something off tackle. You know, see what I can do there on that front, and then maybe come back with a play action on third down if I had it.
Bolden out of the gun. Team up by 17. And the keeper by Bolden to the goal line. He goes! Touchdown! 23-0 West.
Coach Boucham is calling a whale of a game right now. I'll tell you what, that was a fantastic play call on the goal line. Ran the option. They read it perfectly. I mean, the down man, the fake man was tackled, and that left the seam wide open for Mitch Bolden. Another 6 points on the board for Lakota West.
Well, if you notice, there was a lot of attention on Trent Lloyd on that orbit sweep, and they were playing towards the backfield, and when Bolden decided to keep it, nobody was in front of him. Bond for the point after. She is up and through. 24-0 with 21 seconds left to go here in quarter number one. Mercy.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I was not expecting this, you know, especially with the way this Hamilton Big Blue defense has been playing. I know, I mean, you know, listen, I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But, you know, especially, I don't know why. It just wasn't. But, again, fantastic for Lakota West. They got out. They did exactly what the number one, you know, key to the game was. Start fast, score often and early. And that's exactly what they've done, 24 points in the first quarter. So, you know, right now for Hamilton, got to just hunker down and start working your game plan and get the ball down the field. That's really what the name of the game for Hamilton right now. That's what they got to do.
Can you argue that Bolden has already had a complete game through the first quarter, and here's the reason why. 4 for 7 passing, as we do quick numbers, 100 yards passing, 2 touchdowns throwing, and he's got the 10-yard run for the third touchdown.
That sounds like I mean, I'd say that's a heck of a game right there. Or, excuse me, a heck of a first quarter.
And Bond puts this one 5 yards deep in the end zone, touchback with 21 ticks left to go. So if you're Hamilton, you got to be scratching your head a little bit. And I'm not one to be bringing this up, but I'm going to because it's part of the game and what sets up a game and what sets up teams' motivations. There were some comments by one of the coaches in the Big Blue show on Monday about, how about this? We'll call it the averageness of the Lakota West offense. So in talking with one of the players prior to this ball game, he said, we're going to show him exactly how average we are.
Well, and I'll tell you what, I think they've shown that here so far tonight, right now. What you've seen with 24 points in one quarter of football.
Nowhere to go and a loss on the play.
And, you know, circling back to that, you know, that's why, you know, social media is great, everything, you know, it's all fantastic. That's why I always took the approach of, hey, you know, I'm not going to give my opponent any fuel, any ammunition that they already have.
We've come to the end of the first quarter, 24-0 Lakota West. Back with second here on Chatterbox Plus. $24-0 here in Beckett Ridge, here in this GMC Week 6 matchup here on Chatterbox Plus, powered by Miami University Regionals. Along with Archer's uncle, Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. Just got to check that one off here for the night for the memory books for your young nephew. Thanks to our videographer tonight, Jay Wheeler. So we switch sides, second, and we'll call it 15 on the loss play to end things in the first. Back to pass is Harper. He wants the long ball, and it is fought for a 50-50 ball, and Ben Minich deflected it away.
Well, you know, that's what I said they needed to do. Now, what I think I would like to see more of is to get the play-action game going for Hamilton. You know, you've been running the ball so consistently, not just in this game, but really all throughout the year, that, you know, I just think you got to start throwing in some deception and throwing in something different right now. If you're Hamilton, to get the ball down the field, that's the biggest thing. They got to start gaining yards on offense. They haven't been able to gain yards, and that's the biggest problem they've had all night long.
3rd and 15, given the spot on the field, if you're Lakota West, do you blitz the quarterback?
I honestly know I'd probably sit back in coverage and just let it play.
And the hand to Samaj Aldridge, and they're looking to just play a little bit of field position after a gain of a couple.
See, even there, with that type of play call, I'm just not in agreement with that. You're down 24-0. It's the second quarter. You got a 3rd and long situation. Nothing's been working for you all night long. You run the football and a little dive play like that, I'm going down the field no matter what. I got to get my guys juice. I got to at least say, hey, I'm willing to try this. I'm willing to score points and get the ball down the field. So I'm not a fan of that type of play call in that situation there. You got to be able to be aggressive and be competitive to get points on the board.
Do you go after Fox? He's at his own 3.
Up 24-0.
And they're going after him, and they nearly got him. This one picked up by Trent Lloyd beyond his own 50-yard line out to the 48. Minich was coming off that left flank in a hurry.
I'll tell you what, that was. And, it's one of those situations in a close football game or a closer football game, absolutely I would have gone after that. No questions asked. You're up 24-0. I just didn't, that's just my opinion there. But, again, going back to Hamilton, they just got to figure out there's just really lackadaisical and just not a lot of juice and energy on the offensive side of the football for them. They need some creativity. They got to start thinking outside the box to get the ball down the field. Now with Lakota West, you're in the cruise control right now. This is your game. Call what you will here.
36-yard punt, nothing on the return as Lakota West goes back to work, 1st and 10 at their own 47-yard line. They motion Wilson out to the near sideline, and great pursuit by Hassan Robertson, the outside linebacker.
Well, yeah, and he came all the way from the backside to really pursue that down. Great job. He kept his shoulder low and kept his body close to the line of scrimmage, and that's what you got to do to create that correct pursuit angle to make that kind of tackle and force the running back outside. So now you force Lakota West into this 2nd and long situation. That's what this Big Blue defense has got to start doing if they want to gain any momentum on this offense.
You see Josh Fussell as a flanker to the right and a trio to the top side, and they go back that way, and it's a pass play and good yards for Lakota West on this one. And again, that one didn't have the look of the throwback screen that we saw in quarter number 1, but effective yards here to bring up 3rd and short.
Well, Giovanni Wilson on the right side kind of missed a block there that would have really opened that up for a touchdown. On those screen plays, it's so hard for an offensive player, especially on the outside or receiver, to go downfield and block because they're so worried about holding because it's so obvious right there. So, it's hard to get in that correct position to break down and make a good block on that type of screen play.
Triplets to the left, to the bottom of your screen. Fussell the closest to you. And the throw over to the near side, and it's a 1st down. A completion to Trent Lloyd, his 2nd catch of the night, and move the chains, 1st and 10.
Well, you're really starting to see the screen game come alive right now for the Firebirds of Lakota West. And I love that. You're getting your ball out to your playmakers in space and letting them do their thing. And I think that's so big for Lakota West. That's really kind of almost an extension of your running game at that point then. When you have that many athletes, you're able to get the ball too. So great job by Coach Bouchamp, really being dynamic on offense right now.
Brennan Remy is a flanker to the right now, all by himself out to the right. He's got one-on-one out there.
Wow, and there's no safety over top, Jeff.
Triplets now to the far side, and now the give and a flag on the play. Gonzalez, who cut to the middle and now cut back outside the hash mark for a few yards, but we'll have to see what the flag is with 9:09 left to go till halftime.
So there were 2 flags. There was one literally right at the snap of the football, which I'm guessing might be a offsides, and there was one at the tackle as well. So I'm curious to see if it wasn't a face mask or if there was some offsides on Lakota West. Somebody wasn't lined up correctly, but we'll see here.
24-0. West has led from the very get-go, and I do mean the very get-go. The first play from scrimmage, a 55-yarder, a connection from Bolden to Minich.
And you had a face mask on Hamilton. You had an offsides on West, so those were offset where we played the 1st down. Maybe I need a crowd mic. I could just reiterate exactly that.
Oh.
Now
they are resetting the placement of the ball, and the reason why is forward progress initially was a few yards further, but the offsetting penalties moves it back to the original line. So 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. It's Hartford as a split end to the left. Back to pass is Bolden. Now again, another throwback and another one down the sideline. Out to the 10. 1st and goal coming up. A beauty pass that goes for big yardage to Drew Minich.
Well, that's just a throwback screen. You got everybody going to the right, take a good hard step, and great job by Mitch Bolden planting his foot and making that throw. That's not an easy throw for a quarterback to make. All your momentum's going to the right. That's where you're going. You got to come back across your body. Great job by Mitch Bolden being accurate on that throw. Man, I tell you what, that is a seasoned quarterback we're watching right now.
I'll be honest with you. I thought I saw 10 on the play, which is Drew Minich. But we're not seeing him out on the field at this point. But in any case, the ball is moved out to the 7-yard line with 5 on the play clock. Doubles to each side. Bolden gets. He looks left. Now he moves up in the pocket and is tackled from behind.
Great defense by the backfield for Hamilton there. They really shut everybody down. There was nowhere for him to go on that. I watched it the entire way.
Gabe Verdon in on the stop. So the ball's placed at the 9-yard line, 2nd and goal. With 7:43 left to play till halftime, 24-0. Bolden in the gun. He wants to throw. He's looking for his third of the night. Now rolls left. He throws to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown!
Oh,
he's out of bounds.
Oh.
The throw took the receiver, Trent Lloyd, out of play to the back line, out towards the pylon, and it'll bring up 3rd and goal.
Oh, he was there. I think that was Brennan Remy on the play there, actually, that was him, who caught the ball out of bounds there. But man, tell you what, one thing that I am noticing is that defensive line for Hamilton's getting a little bit more pressure on him, on Mitch there on that last play.
Remy and Lloyd in a slot to the right and a roll right for Bolden. He has time in the pocket. He'll dump it off out towards the sideline. Complete, incomplete.
It looks like they're going to say it's complete, but obviously short of the touchdown. And let's see, decision time here for Coach Bolden. And I agree with this. You go for it. I think. I'm assuming that's what he's doing here. He's leaving the offense.
So I think I heard Remy get that one. And if that's the case, that's a pickup of about 2, 4th and 5. Well, given the way your defense has played tonight, no reason not to go for it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, yes.
Hartford is a split end to the left to the bottom of your screen. Bolden with time. He steps up, now rolls right.
Is that picked off?
So it got to Remy, but it's short, and it's a turnover on downs.
I thought for a second that might have been an interception. There were just so many people around the ball, and we're kind of, that's on the basically as far away from us as you can possibly get in the stadium. So it's kind of hard to see there. But, one thing I noticed there is that there were, again, I kind of go back to my point I made, a lot of pressure there on Mitch Bolden those last 3 plays. That really forced him out of the pocket, and he also had nowhere to go with the football. Great defense there by Hamilton on those last 3 plays to really stretch it, not give him any points. But now your Hamilton offense is backed up on the 3-yard line with one of the top defenses in the state facing across from them. So I don't know.
Now do you send an extra man?
Yes. Yeah. This is a situation where I'm absolutely. Yeah, you're putting the pressure on him here. You're going to say, hey, gain every single yard here. Let's see what you guys can do.
And we got motion on the line.
I'll put it back to the 1.5-yard line now.
Not a good way to start off a drive, down 24-0.
Down 24-0 on the 3-yard line, going up against one of the best defenses in the state. Whew. Not something I'd want to be in.
The official spot is the 2, for what it's worth. I guess the 1.5-yard line you can't really put up on the board. So they need 98 yards to get their first touchdown of the night. Back to pass is Harper. He throws. It's complete out to the 10-yard line. That's the first completion tonight. And it's to 1. Sir Charles Riggins, his first catch of the night.
Yeah, if I'm Hamilton, I'm slants, quick passes, hitches, screenplays is my ball game right now.
Aldridge into the line, and boy, that's a stern defense he's running into. Okay. I mean, that's an old-fashioned rugby scrum there.
Yeah, it almost seems like to me that they're waiting for Aldridge to break one. You know, that kind of seems the mentality that they're after right now, because there just hasn't been anything up the middle for them all night long. I just, hey, the kitchen's not open, you're not eating, so might as well get the ball somewhere. Did we have a?
And I think we had a penalty at the end of that, and they're going to mark the ball up towards the 25-yard line. So whatever it was pretty major.
Yeah,
we'll call it the 15-yard variety.
Interesting there. Well, now you got breathing room if you're Hamilton. You can start working your offense a little bit more.
Well, and they've converted. They've converted so far. Well, that was second down, correct?
Yes.
So third down has been perplexing to them as the running play, a few yards, and they're getting something going here in the late minutes of the second quarter.
Well, maybe that defensive stand might have, kind of lit a fire on them, because that's what they needed. They needed a big play like that. They needed something to go right for Hamilton, and maybe that big stop right there was what they needed.
Cameron McKinney picked up 8. I think that's the first time we've called his name here tonight. Backup running back to Samaj Aldridge. 2nd and 2, down in distance at the 33-yard line. Under 6 to play here in the second quarter. They motion to tight end Ollis to the left side of the line. And the run play again, and a couple of yards this time.
But they get the first down there.
And another run play to McKinney. And they move the chain. So a sustained drive for the first time tonight for Hamilton.
Yeah, let's see if they can get across the 50 now. That's the next goal they got to get to.
Nasir Harper's the quarterback. He's making his first varsity start. He came in relief of Nick Lindsay, who had started the season the first 5 games for Hamilton, and a burst of speed for Aldridge into the line. But Kofi Bobby is hanging out right there, and he's the first one to get there. And we see a bunch of them there, most notably Mike Brandkamp and Jacob Asbeck as well.
When you look at these defensive stats, you have 4 guys with 30-plus tackles. You have, right now Jacob Asbeck with 6.5 sacks on the year, and this is just a ironclad curtain of a defense that you're going up against right now. But good job for Hamilton. They've been able to move the ball and get some momentum going now. Now just get to the 50-yard line. That's got to be the next goal.
And a high snap. He gets behind Harper. He's going to have to dive on it back to his own 20-yard line. I mean, this thing took off.
Yeah, and that happens from time to time at the center position. That is going to happen. Now, great job there, honestly, by Nasir. A lot of guys will try and pick up the ball. They'll try and do something with it. Hey, fall on it, live to fight another down. That's the biggest thing. Don't make that situation any more worse than it already was.
I call that a loss of 15. That will set them back to their own 23-yard line. They need the 46 for the line to gain. Here's the end around play. R.J. Shepard for minimal yardage, and it'll be a punting situation for West Fox and for Hamilton.
Gosh, I just, I don't know. You're in a 3rd and 23 position. You're down 24-0 with 3:30 left to go, and a sweep play into the boundary on that. Just, I don't know. Again, I have an issue with that. I just think you got to get the ball down the field. You're in a tough situation right now. Yeah, that's like I said, that's a tough situation to be in for Hamilton.
Ben Minich will get a chance to return. He's at his own 46. Fox gets one away, a spiraling kick that backs up Minich to his own 40. Angles to the right to the sideline, dancing out there for a pickup of 6. 38 yards on the punt, 6 on the return, and it's 1st and 10 for Lakota West, as a touchdown here will give them the all-important running clock.
Well, and that's what they need to do. That's the goal right now on this drive is, hey, let's get points on the board. Let's score a touchdown here. We faltered there. We kind of, sputtered out there towards the end of our last drive. We know that's not us. Let's move the ball down the field here effectively, and let's score early, or let's score quick and often here on this drive.
We got twins in a power, and Bolden throws a long one, incomplete. I mean, he had Ben Minich in front of the defender by a good 2 yards, and he had 6 written all over that one. The line drive a little too hard, and maybe about a half yard in front of Ben, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Interesting play out of the power position.
They haven't really shown that before, but, my goodness, Ben's a heck of a track guy. He's fast, but I almost said baseball coming out of Mitch Bolden's hand, because that's what it looked like for a second there. But I'll tell you what, that was a hard-throwing football. But, again, they got to settle down here and get some momentum going on this play right here.
Remy's got 1-on-1 to the bottom of your screen. Bolden back to throw, flushed and sacked. Back to the 36-yard line. He ran out of time in a big-time hurry. Ebony Curry in on the sack.
Well, again, I go back to the last series there on the goal line. He had a lot of guys in his face there, and again, you're starting to see that here. So going into halftime here, they're going to need to really shore up some things on the offensive line for Lakota West, because they're starting to show some signs of weakness, starting to show their holes here a little bit. So they're going to want to really tighten things up, whatever that looks like for them. They got to start figuring out these blitzes that Hamilton's thrown at them.
West is at their own 38. They need the Hamilton 45 for the line to gain. And now a flag. It's a procedure call coming up. Offsides against visiting Hamilton. So they'll make it a little bit easier for the state's third-ranked team. And they're now third-ranked, by the way, after a fine win a week ago against Princeton, 31-7.
Well, I think that win last week really solidified them as, a team that is for real. We've seen Princeton. We know Princeton's a very good football team, very well-coached football team. So we know when you see a score like that in a dominant game from Lakota West that, hey, this team is for real right here.
Triplets to the bottom of your screen. Empty backfield for Bolden. Hamilton showing blitz up the middle. Bolden with time, he steps through, and now he throws over the middle, and it's incomplete. Too tall for Brennan Remy, who found a hole in the deep middle, and it's 3 and out.
3 and out, and you had opportunities. I think that's one thing from that drive that I see for Lakota West is, they just kind of sputtered out and had, just didn't capitalize off the opportunities they had with those open receivers downfield there.
Ben Minich is back at his own 28-yard line, his first punt of the night. He's averaging about 37 yards a punt this year. He's placed 3 inside the 20. Good snap. He thought about jockeying for position. In fact, if nothing else, to draw Hamilton closer to him. And this one will matriculate forward, and another punt that's inside the 20-yard line.
So this is an interesting situation I'm seeing on the sideline here. I noticed Mitch Bolden got up slowly from that last play. He's on the sideline. The trainer just picked up his helmet. He's definitely looking at that left leg of Mitch Bolden. So that's something we're going to have to really pay attention to here as he's getting some treatment on it right there on the sideline. So keep an eye on that. But that could be a major storyline developing here going into halftime.
51-yard punt. That's a season high for Ben Minich. 129 up on the board. Left to go for Hamilton. Trying to get 6 on the board before they get to the locker room. So if nothing else, the Hamilton defense has settled in here in the second quarter.
Yeah, it really has. And they've gotten some really good pressure. Now the offense has just got to get something juice going. They had some good momentum last drive. They moved the ball a little bit. Now they just got to sustain that and keep it going and get points on the board.
Nasir Harper's the quarterback. Out of the pistol and the running play. Samaj Aldridge out to the sideline and chased out of bounds by Tabron Benny Powell, who has not one but 2 scoop and scores this year for touchdowns.
See where this defense goes here now. You know, they've been giving Hamilton some opportunities here. Hamilton's got to take advantage of them.
They placed the ball at the 27-yard line, a pickup of 16, and a very nice gain for Samaj Aldridge. Gotta love the Golden Spikes, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Off the left side this time for Aldridge, looking for the corner, has the corner in a few yards as he rolls out of bounds, and a late flag by the referee with 50 seconds left to go.
It looks like it might be on Elijah Davis there as well after the play. I'm trying to see what it is.
So whatever it is, it's a tack on because you see Lakota West moving backwards.
Yeah. There must have been some type of personal foul or something there. Wow.
So add on there. Coming up at the half, we'll regale you with the sounds and the sights of the Lakota West marching Firebirds, beg your pardon. East, west, sometimes it's hard to get things all settled out. But the marching Firebirds will take you through halftime under the direction of Andrew Carr as we have 35 seconds left to go.
See here real quick if they can get some in 30 seconds here.
Samaj Aldridge in space momentarily, and that hole closed up in a hurry after a gain of 4.
Very, very quick.
And we may have yet room for one more play. Aldridge is a home run hitter. He's got 4 50-yard runs to his credit on the season here as we go to week 6. Out of the pistol is Harper. One final play. He wants to throw, and now he wants to launch. Down the sideline, and it is incomplete. Nearly picked off by Hartford, and we see 000 up on the scoreboard. 24-0 here at halftime. And, partner, your initial thoughts an hour deep into this ball game as we go to the locker room. A dominating effort here to start things off for the Firebirds.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they got out. They scored quick. They scored often in the first quarter. I mean, my goodness. I will say that Hamilton had their number a little bit there in the second quarter, especially on defense. So anxious to see what adjustments Coach Bolden makes coming out of halftime. Anxious to see what type of offense it looks like. I'm also going to keep my eye on Mitch as well. See how that leg is going to hold up here in the second half.
This game punctuated by some early fireworks, a couple of touchdown passes by Bolden, and another one running. And we have our 24-0 halftime score. Coming up here in the intermission, we will watch the marching Firebirds of Lakota West take you through halftime with the show there. 24-0 here at the half. It's week 6 in the GMC on Chatterbox Plus, powered by Miami University Regionals. We're at the half. 24-0 for the state's third-ranked team, the Lakota West Firebirds, as they lead the Big Blue of Hamilton, along with Uncle Kevin Zilch. I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Chatterbox Plus, powered by Miami University Regionals. Our videographer tonight is Jay Wheeler. So before we get into recapping the first half, we were just talking about halftime scores, and there's one in particular that seems like a shocker, and maybe it's just because of what we know one of these teams to be.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, right now, just kind of rolling through, you know, Elder all over St. Xavier right now, 28-7. You've got
wow, and that's the wow score.
And that's the wow one right there. You know, especially how dominant that kind of was. You know, for that. And I think you can, St. Xavier's having an off year this year, so that's a big one. Kings all over West Claremont, 21-7. Moeller all over LaSalle, 28-7 at the half. Really just kind of rolling through. Another big one, Alter, 28, McNick, 7. McNick is up there in the rankings as well. It's kind of Kings and McNick there for a while. Or, excuse me, McNick and Baden there for a while. So Baden is starting to kind of stretch out their lead probably in the computer rankings as well. And then obviously the one that got canceled tonight, the other big one in the GMC that we play tomorrow, I haven't seen a time on that yet, will be the Fairfield-Princeton game, which is another game that I'm really excited to see how Princeton is able to bounce back and really to see how Fairfield plays them. One of the big storylines going into halftime of this game, though, was at their last offensive series, Mitch Bolden came back out limping a little bit on that left knee, and they started looking at it there on the sideline before halftime. He's back out. He's throwing the football. I do see he has a sleeve now on that left knee or left leg. So we'll keep an eye on that, see how far, if this game truly does get out of hand, how long are they going to keep him in the ball game, moving down.
Or if it doesn't get out of hand, at what point do you manage his minutes?
Exactly. And it's one of those two things. We haven't seen who we've actually seen the backup quarterback quite often for Lakota West. So, it'll be interesting to see what they do there. Obviously when you're in a game like this, I think, probably 10 more points, you can kind of just start to say that, hey, all right, we're starting to pull away. Let's, get Mitch. Let's start ramping him down a little bit.
Well, Hamilton will get the ball to start the second half. So let's play prognosticator here. You maintain the shutout, and then you get on offense, ostensibly with the starting lineup for Lakota West. You go and score a touchdown. You're up by that 31 margin at that point.
Right.
At that point, you have a running clock. At that point, prudent to take out your quarterback?
It's hard to say. In my situation, if I see him having an injury right now, or on the having something wrong with one of his legs, on he's not at 100% now. Yes, normal situation when you're up that get to the end of the third quarter, start rotating your guys in that way. But right now, it's going to be interesting to see how Coach Bolden really manages his players now, especially at the quarterback position. Because it's going to be it's just huge. Mitch Bolden is the biggest part of this offense in there right now.
To accentuate that point, it's almost like you're reading my mind here to hit this point.
Finally, after a year and a half, Geoff.
How important is Bolden to this offense? The Firebirds coming into this ball game had run 232 plays from scrimmage. Bolden has accounted for 157 of those plays. That's 67.7%.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of yardage, Bolden has 1108 coming into this ballgame. Obviously, he's tacked on well here in the first half. Of their 1659, that's 66.8%. No matter how you look at it, Mitch Bolden's worth about 2/3 of the offense for the Lakota West Firebirds.
And, you're just beyond the halfway point in the season. So you got to start thinking, okay, we got, Fairfield coming up. And then we really are going to start rocking and rolling into the playoffs where you're probably going to go head-to-head with Moeller again at some point. So, you're going to start thinking about, okay, how can I, start managing my minutes here? And this is where it becomes really stressful for a head coach, in my opinion. When you have this good of a squad, that you're dominant, but you also got to say, hey, we still have to play. Once you get to the playoffs, remember, it's 6 games now. It's 6 weeks, not just 5. So that's almost another full half a season that you got to play again. You really got to start managing people's time, especially late down the stretch. One thing you'll start to do is you'll start to see practice times really start to shrink down into the second half of the season. You'll start to see more half shells, less pounding on each other moving down the season. But I'm interested to see how he manages it right here in this game.
Tyler Bond, a kick from his own 40, and the second half is a foot on the end-over-end kick, a short kick taken at the 5. Return man up the middle, across the 20. Good head of steam initially.
Oh.
And the ball came out, I believe, at the end, and we have a tussle for it and now a flag as well.
Oh, no. Yeah, they had a good job by the referees to get in there and break that up real quick.
So some contact out at the 35-yard line. Whatever the case, we'll see the starting offenses and defenses back on out for each team as we sort out the penalty. Tonight's referee is Jay Cooper.
Yeah, I mean, the referees did a good job getting in there quick because that was going to escalate into something we didn't want to see. good job by the coaches to get everybody back on their respective sidelines. So we'll have to see now here what the call's going to be.
So personal foul.
Looks like they ejected somebody.
Well, it would sure be helpful to have a number on this, as looks like the linesman's coming over to Tom Bolden, who's getting a what for. I don't know. I would imagine that this would take a degree of, what's the word I'm looking for? Gravitas from the referee to kind of understand, because Tom's not happy.
So I think they're indicating that somebody has been ejected from the game. We don't have a number on it. We don't know who that is right now.
Tom's calming down just a bit, but he's clearly unthrilled by what just happened. Quarterback battle in the first half, clearly won by Lakota West, as dictated by the team score tonight. Mitch Bolden, 9 of 15 passing for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Nasir Harper for Hamilton, 1 for 5 so far tonight for 9 yards.
I mean, I'm trying to see what's going on down there. I mean, I'm trying to read people's body language, and Coach Bolden is just absolutely irate right now down there. And
he's giving the head linesman a what for. Charles Williams is on the near side, the line judge, and he's not enjoying that conversation. He's keeping his head down while Bolden's holding court.
And I'm still trying to figure out, I'm just trying to kind of see right now if there's anybody walking on the sideline without a helmet on or moving back to the locker room or anything like that. I don't see that. So I'm curious. I know in the college when they eject somebody for, targeting, they're allowed to stay on the sidelines now. They don't have to go to the locker room. I do know that.
Which accentuates something as we get back to running with Samaj Aldrich, who gains 5 on the first play from scrimmage here in the second half. Put a mic on the referee.
Yes. And, I'm curious. I see him going down here and talking with Trent Lloyd, and they were both kind of had their hands in their up. And, yeah, I don't know.
A gain of 5 for Aldrich to start things off in the second half. They motion Ollis to the left side of the line, and before we can get the play moving to that left side, we've got an illegal procedure call.
Oh, a lot going on here in the first minute of action in the second half. I'll tell you what, just a lot. Yeah, it's just a lot, and a lot of stuff that we don't know.
Well, again, I know that in a lot of cases you really don't want to put a mic on a referee. This is definitely a side job for these officials, and they're not trained speakers necessarily, right? However, you need an opportunity to explain to people what has just happened. If you're the young man's parents and you don't see your kid playing in the second half, you want to know why, and we get another flag, and we've got literally a comedy of errors to start off half number 2.
I think this is 4 or 5 straight penalties. They got to delay a game now on Hamilton, so that'll move them back, which I don't understand how you can have a delay a game when you got the numbers staring right at you. That drove me nuts as a coach. I used to say that all the time. But you got the numbers in both end zones like an NFL stadium. You should never have a delay a game.
Well, too often it's easy at the higher levels to blame that on the quarterback being in a vapor lock.
Right.
And another illegal procedure call, and we continue to march forward or backward.
Well, it looks like they're moving this up now like it's on Lakota West.
So to start things off in the second half, we appear to have an ejection on a 15-yard major, and then a comedy of errors in which illegal procedure has been the mantra to start things off in half number 2. Back to passes Harper, running out of time, and now will keep the ball himself. Brankamp stops him right about where he needed to be for the first down.
See the size of Harper there. That's one thing I'm kind of impressed with is his just true size there.
6'3", 240 pounds. And he's got big thighs, a big trunk.
Yeah.
So he's going to be hard to take down, even though he's not fleet of foot.
Right.
They'll spot the ball officially at the 49-yard line as Hamilton marches into West territory, and Samaj Aldridge will lose his feet coming off the right side, trying to roll in on that right side behind Josh Young.
Well, lost his footing there, and, again, I think that's just one of those things where he's just, dancing a little too much like Coach Crouch had been talking about. And that's when you're going to lose your footing, is when you got your feet moving too fast or, just not moving vertically. And I think that's what really Coach Crouch is really wanting to see out of him, is to get more north-south, not so much east-west.
Out of the pistol, and a give. Aldridge with a bolt of silk and good yardage. He had a hole open up on that right side behind Josh Young, and a good pickup to bring up 3rd and short. How much of dancing around is just not wanting to get hit?
There's part of that. That factors into it, absolutely. But, hey, you're a running back. You got to lower your shoulders. That's your job. You are going to get hit. You got the football in your hands. This is football. That's the name of the game. So, hey, you got to just kind of step up, lower your shoulder, and, be tough and get in there.
Cameron McKinney's in the backfield, spelling Aldridge. Harper out of the pistol. And another motion call as Shepard came across.
Boy, this has got to be the 5th or 6th penalty now combined on this drive.
So officially on the drive, if we're not counting the kickoff return as a penalty, this is now the 4th on this drive.
5th if you count that whatever happened
there. That kerfuffle?
There you go. I like that. A kerfuffle.
I'm at a loss of words tonight. Kerfuffle is probably as good as it's going to get.
Oh, with what we just had to endure right there. I mean, 5 penalties in the span of just a couple minutes.
Aldridge is back in the backfield. 3rd, and we'll call it 8. Harper rolls left, and he throws it behind Aldridge, and he is tackled.
I think that was Brandcamp on the tackle there. Yeah, and he did a great job snuffing that out. He chased it down. They're going to complete that pass every single time. He was right there to make the tackle, though, and that's where you got to be in the right position. I think that really speaks well for this entire Lakota West defense. They're in the right position at the right time all the time.
A gain of 1, we'll call it. And another punting situation for Wes Fox.
Fake. Oh, he didn't get it, I don't think.
We see the line judges out at the 41-yard line. That's short of the line to gain.
Yeah, it'll be
so
first
it's a turnover
down,
on downs.
Yeah, it will be. But, hey, you know what? I don't mind that from Hamilton. That's what you got to do. If you want to get back in this football game, you got to pull out all the stops, right? And so I don't mind that whatsoever. And honestly, you're about a half a yard away from getting that and converting it.
So the ball's at the 41-yard line. If you're West, you go up on top on play number 1.
I do, yeah. Why not? That's been the game changer here.
Instead, they will go to the run, and it's Tabron Benny Powell. Actually, no, it's 0. That's Davion McCoy, who impressed us so much in the cleanup minutes of the Lakota East game back in week 2. 6'1", 195 pounds, a junior. A gain of maybe 1.
Curious to see if they go with Mitch, having that sleeve on his left leg. They're going to start running this ball here a little bit more in the second half. 2nd down.
As we mount the clock, down to 6:48, and another run play. Davion McCoy. Actually, no, it's not McCoy this time. It is Gonzalez. So he'll get, and you had mentioned in our pregame chat about running back by committee, and that is truly the case this year for Lakota West.
And that's not a bad thing. That's not necessarily something that is bad. They're just saying, hey, we got 2 or 3 guys that we think can effectively run the football. We're going to rotate those guys in. So that's never necessarily a bad thing to have. I think what we've got so used to is Cam Good in the backfield for all those years, and then seeing him back there.
Well, to be fair, Good was the feature back a year ago as they motion Lloyd,
Yep.
and we have yet another flag. And I'll get to expound on this story as we sort out the flag. And it looks like they're pointing the way of Hamilton on this. So last year, Good was the feature back, and we occasionally saw Giovanni Wilson in wrap-up minutes. The year before, it was Good sharing time with Joshua Brogdon, who has since moved on to Ohio University to play.
So, and I think that's what we're kind of seeing here. It's just, you get kind of used to that. Screenplay. Yep.
And nobody's home. Again, they had motion Trent Lloyd to the right, and now Mitch seemed a little slow to get up. But he's all right. He's going off of the field on his own power. And they're going to bring on the punting team.
Well, he had a very, very physical game last week against Princeton. In fact, I watched a post-game interview with Mitch Bolden, and he said he was banged up. He said he was going right in on Saturday morning getting treatment. Said he probably spent about 2 hours getting treatment just after that Princeton game. So, I think we're starting to see that mid-season, you're going to start to get guys banged up here. So it'll be interesting to see if the play calling now changes for West.
We have a timeout called. I believe Hamilton has called for the TO. And this game is powered by Miami University Regionals, accepting applications for 2023 classes. With over 30 majors offered in person and online, you can design a schedule that fits your needs and start earning your Miami degree, conveniently located in Hamilton, Middletown, Westchester, and online. Learn more at miamioh.edu/regionals. Along with Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Chatterbox Plus. And whatever the conversation was, it's quickly resolved. And we should still see the punting situation. We had seen double return men out there, and now we see Shepard back at his own 15-yard line. Minich on for his second punt. He had gotten one for 51 his last time out, and this one makes its way out to the 10, and it's going to drop dead inside the 5. That thing took a dogleg right.
Wow.
Mercy.
Tell you what, that looked like my 7-iron out there. I'm kidding. My 7-iron's never that good, but what a great punt there.
50 yards.
That's exactly what you need to have.
50 yards, nothing on the return, and with 5:45 left to go, you talked about trestle ball a few weeks ago, and that is the example of trestle ball, pinning your opponent back deep in their own territory.
When you got a punter that can do it, man, I'll tell you what, that is one of the best weapons you can have. And, Jim Tressel used to say it all the time. Sometimes a punt is your best play, but you got to have guys like Andy Nugent that he had back in the day to do those type of punts.
Well, to be fair, and I'm just thinking about this, it does help to have a very strong defense.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Well, that's the other side of it, Jeff. You got to have the strong defense to defend it as well.
And we'll see if West attacks them here. And the give into the line as the running back got away and got good yards. And in fact, McKinney had got stuck right at the line of scrimmage and made his way all the way up to the 10-yard line. So if nothing else, that gain of 8 for McKinney unburies Hamilton here on this offensive drive.
And that's what you need to do in that type of situation. That's the type of play call you need to have. Get some breathing room, get some little space, and now you can work your offense a little bit more. Curious to see what Coach J.D. Vonderheide comes out here with now on this drive, down 24-0.
Another run play, McKinney into the line, where he's met by Kofi Bobby, and now a big pushback on the other side by West as they stop him a couple yards. He's awfully close to the first down.
Really
and in fact,
close.
The chain gain looks like they want to move.
And it looks like they are going to be moving.
By the way, how do we know that it's McKinney and not Samaj Aldridge? The color of the spikes.
Sometimes that's what does it for broadcasters. That's what you got to have is a little identifier.
1st and 10, they spot the ball at the 13-yard line, officially a gain of 3. And McKinney's still the deep back behind the quarterback Harper, and Harper's back to throw. With time, deep middle, and it's nearly picked off. Ben Minich was licking his chops at the 35-yard line. He had a man in front of him and a clear path for 6.
Had he been about a half a yard back from his original position, that would have been a pick, and probably a pick 6 for Ben just with his speed that he has there. But, just a ball that was wildly overthrown by the quarterback there. So they got to start just figuring out some things. I think some short passes, extend that running game, get out wide. That's what I'd be doing if right now with Hamilton. You just got to try anything. They've already tried a fake punt. We've already seen that happen, and Did we have a penalty there?
As we back up Hamilton back to their own 5-yard line. So we do have a penalty. But again, the absence of a mic on a referee sometimes is very difficult. And the run play off to the left side. And good yardage again. And in fact, something that we've seen here since the start of the second quarter is Hamilton is starting to take control of the line of scrimmage.
And I think you just said it right there, the line of scrimmage. Hamilton is starting to get some good push. They're even starting to get some pressure on, well, they have gotten pressure on Mitch Bolden all night. So, you know, again, I just go back. I think that Hamilton has really, really established themselves at that line of scrimmage. They just got to start getting vertically down the field.
2nd and 9. They're at the 14-yard line. They need the 23 for the line to gain. As we sort this one out, Aldridge is in the backfield, golden spikes and all. And Harper back to throw. He fakes the throw right, now holds on to it. Now lobs one up, and it's nearly picked up. Minich again, and this one just about another half yard before it got into his breadbasket.
Well, I think that's number 1, Sir Charles Riggins, that it was going to, and he wasn't even looking for it. He was running downfield still, so he didn't have his head turned back for the football. So that's, 2 interceptions right there that, just slightly out of position, just, a hair out of position on 2 of those right there. But still, you're going to force Hamilton now into really a position they've kind of been in all night, that 3rd and long position for Hamilton.
3rd and 9, as we had mentioned, coming into this ball game. Hamilton at 14.3% on 3rd down this year. Harper back to throw, losing time, and now stuck in. He is stopped and now finally dropped out at the 6-yard line. Forward progress out to about the 8. And now we got a scrum in the middle.
Yeah, I mean,
as they unpile, and Harper's a little slow to get up.
Great job there. I mean, it was a host of defenders for the Firebirds that got in there. But take a wild guess at Jake Asbeck, and I think he was on that right side, came screaming in as well. So, again, that's what they do, and that's how well coached this defense is for Lakota West. They swarm and they tackle very, very well, and they get to the football very, very fast.
Wes Fox just short of his own back line. They come after him. Minich doesn't get to him. And it's Lloyd out of the 45, zigzags his way up the far seam, out to the 35-yard line. So Fox did a good job in just getting it away. 37 yards on the punt, 10 on the return, and great field position for Lakota West on their second drive of the second half.
Yeah, so, now you got to take advantage of it. This is where you got to get points on the board, just get points on the board. That's got to be your goal here for Lakota West. You kind of sputtered here a little bit. We know that the quarterbacks, Mitch Bolden is a little bit banged up right now. We got to protect him. I'm making sure that I got a running back in protection with him at all times as my basically personal protector. And so we'll see what Coach Bowchamp and Coach Bolden draw up here now.
Gonzalez in the backfield with him, and Bolden back to throw. With time, he steps up. He throws. It's complete. It's to Lloyd, down the near seam, inside the 20, out inside the 15-yard line, a pickup of 21.
That's exactly what they needed. And I might be wrong on this, but I feel like that's been the first long, drawn pass that we've seen out of Mitch Bolden really since that first quarter. You know what I mean? So, again, this is what they need to do, get that momentum going, get down in the red zone now, and get points on the board and extend this lead out.
24-0, speaking of the lead, with 2:09 left to go here in this third period. As Lakota West will go tight. And the hand to Wilson inside the 10-yard line.
Good run there. And I think that's what they need to do. I'm noticing that they're starting to go a little bit more run, pass. It's not so much pass heavy right now. And I think that's to try and protect Mitch Bolden, especially with the way that the line is playing right now. It's not bad, but that Hamilton front 4 or 5 is really giving Lakota West some fits here on the offensive line. So I see that they got tight, 2 tights in now. They got a running back in the backfield. Let's see what Mitch draws up here.
Remy's a split end to the left. And now they go back to the far side. Lloyd and a flag on the play as he moves laterally out to the seam, out towards about the 8-yard line. So no gain, but we're going to have to sort out the flag with 1:19 left to go.
I'm going to say that's in the area of holding, and that's exactly what it is out there on the edge. That's hard. when you're out there on the edge for any receiver, tight end, you get in there and you're exposed. Really, you're on an island out there one-on-one with your defender. So anytime you get jersey, wrap your arm around the back or anything like that, it's blatantly obvious for the referee.
Now they'll spot the ball back at the 22, so the hold coming in the backfield, and then you minus the 10 on that. So second and we'll call it 19. They still need the 3 for the line to gain. So we mount the clock under a minute here in this third. Bolden, the throwback screen once more out to the sideline. Good yards again on that play.
And what I've seen Coach Bouchamp go to here a little bit, Geoff, in this second half, is he's gone to just a little bit more of a balanced offense where, you're going to start seeing some more short passes, some short intermediate passes, take that pressure off Mitch, take that pressure off the offensive line as well.
So the ball placed inside the 10 and another catch for Remy. Trips to the bottom of your screen. Bolden to throw, looking right, and is it caught?
I can't tell. I don't see a signal yet.
We don't see a signal. It's right at the goal line.
I think they're placing it literally at the 1 credit card line, maybe. I think that's about where it is.
So first and goal coming up, and here's Bolden right under center. We'll see if he dives forth for second of the night. He goes forth for the touchdown. 30-0 Lakota West.
Oh, there it is. That's what they needed to have happen on this drive. Right there, took control, marched it down the field, got a good 6 points. You're able to take the pressure off your quarterback, even though he just ran the ball in for a touchdown. 30-0 right now. Big shutout going on here in Beckett Ridge.
As we come to the end of the third quarter, waiting for the point after try before we head to a break. And we now officially have a running clock as well when we start the fourth. Bond for the point after. She is up and through. 31-0 on the 1-yard plunge by Mitch Bolden as we head to the fourth. Number 3 Lakota West in control of this one here on Chatterbox Plus, powered by Miami University Regionals. To the fourth we go, 31-0. Lakota West got their last touchdown on a drive, capped off by Mitch Bolden's 1-yard plunge in the end zone, his second of the night. That capped off a 6-play drive that went 35 yards and took 234 off the board. Point after is good, and the brand new score here in Beckett Ridge is 31-0. Surprised at all?
No, not necessarily. I think, it has been probably a little bit more of a struggle than Lakota West wanted it to be. But again, I think they fought through that. And I think, if you're Coach Bolden, hey, really any contest right now from here on out is going to be a tough one. And you're going to get every team's best. You got that bullet on your back right now. So I think that's what they're getting right now, and that's what they're seeing. I was happy to see Lakota West dominate that offensive line down there like they did, because that's really where I thought that they were kind of struggling, or that was their weakest point so far in this, really from the second quarter into the third quarter now going into the fourth. So, I'm not surprised. I just think it's been a little bit more of a battle than Lakota West was thinking or really what they wanted.
R.J. Shepard and Jalen Morris, and this one heads to the end zone for a touchback. Something about Lakota West in the number 31, by the way. So they won their last game over Princeton 31-7, and the prior game that you and I saw, Oak Hills 31-0. Something about 31.
Something about hitting that running clock, man. I'll tell you what.
Clock has yet to run.
See here, one thing I've noticed Hamilton's doing a lot of is doing a lot of check with me. They'll look to call play, look to the sideline once the defense makes their adjustments.
And a home run down the sideline, too tall for the receiver.
It looked like 9 routes pretty much all the way around there. Trying to extend the ball down the field, and I think what you do there is you also kind of extend out the defense a little bit.
Sir Charles Riggins, the intended receiver, out at the 50-yard line, well guarded out on the sideline. 31-0. We do have the official running clock as we speak, so we're 30 seconds through the fourth right as we go. And back again, that check with me, as you'd mentioned, out of the pistol is Harper. And Samaj Aldridge, no gain.
You know, one thing I noticed with this Lakota West defense is one thing they do is they force you at the line of scrimmage to go left or right, not north or south. And I think that's huge because that means that they're plugging up the holes there, and you leave nowhere for the running back or anywhere in the backfield to go. They're so good at extending plays out laterally and not vertically, and that's going to be key for them down the stretch and into the playoffs.
Harper getting the play and now gets the ball. Looking, wants to throw, and now has to take off and is dropped.
Got a host of Firebirds right there on defense. Man, they just swarmed to the football there.
Gabriel Flores, the first one in there on the tackle for loss. And it'll be a punting situation on a -2, -3 on this drive.
I'm watching Coach Bolden. He is still chatting up this referee on the sideline. I don't think he's been out of his ear hole since that happened to start the second half, excuse me.
This one takes a forward roll for Hamilton out towards midfield. 33 yards on the punt, nothing on the return with 9:52 left to go here in this ball game.
Another great opportunity, great starting field position for Lakota West. They've had great field position really all game long. They've gotten the ball and been able to start drives in really good positions. So right now it's key, just got to keep that momentum train rolling. And I think that's going to be huge for Lakota West here on this drive. Keep the train rolling down, but also got to keep Mitch Bolden protected.
Speaking of Bolden, he's back out for the first drive of this fourth, and we'll see how long he goes in this one. Brendan Remy is split out to the top of your screen. Doubles on each side, and we'll see if they go for a kill shot here. And Wilson is dropped in the backfield. Wes Fox on a tackle for loss.
That was just a slow developing play, especially for a play that was going to be stretched that far. Typically, you want to snap that ball right at the mesh point when your motion man is coming in. So interesting, just slow developing play there for Lakota West. Good job by the Hamilton defense, though, to snuff that out and make the tackle in the backfield. Something really have struggled with tonight is making those tackles in the backfield and forcing Lakota West into a bad field position like a second and long right here.
Loss of 3 for Wilson. Bolden throws to the right, and it's incomplete, intended for Wilson, and that's his first incompletion of this second half.
Yeah, and he knew it. He knew it. He banged his helmet there. He knows that he made a bad throw there. So you know that I like seeing that out of my quarterback. I like when he does that because that tells me, hey, okay, he knows it. He gets it. I don't have to say a word to him. He understands his mistake that he did there. You know, and that just shows the growth and maturity of Mitch Bolden. And, you know, you and I have seen him pretty much exclusively for the last 2 seasons. And just the way he has been able to develop his skill set has just been really, really, really fascinating to watch over the last 2 seasons.
Twins on each side. Speaking of watching Lakota West, as Bolden with a deep drop, steps up, now has some room to run, and he's going to take off across the 40, and he has the first down as he works towards the sideline, a pickup of 15.
Well, and I'd say that his leg is just fine there. And, you know, that's one aspect that we really haven't seen here tonight is the running ability of Mitch Bolden. You know, he has a lot of running yards. He was, a huge dominant force in week 1 against St. X. So that's another kind of wrinkle to this offense that Coach Bouchamp can throw at him.
They spot the ball officially at the 32. Tight formation this time for Lakota West. Deep drop with time for Bolden. He steps up once more, and now he is tripped up out of the 35-yard line. I think it was Morris that got him. Jalen Morris.
And I'm really going to start protecting Mitch here, especially late in the game. I'm up 31-0. You know, this is where I'm going to say, I'm probably not going to run that play again. Just really stick with you know, the short intermediate passes that are working for him, the screen plays that have worked for him really all night long. That's what I'm going to head back to with my play calling here.
Triplets to the top of your screen, out to the left. On 2nd and 13 after the loss of 3. Good protection with time. And now he rolls right. And now he's on the move once more. Across the 30. Cuts back inside. Inside the 25 to the 21-yard line. Should have another first down. He needed 13. He got 14 out of it.
Tell you what, Mitch Bolden's really taking control of this drive. I will say one thing. The Hamilton backfield, their defensive backfield, locked down right now. I mean, there is nowhere for him to go, and that's why you're having to see him scramble out like this. And again, but that just shows you the dynamic ability of Mitch Bolden. You're seeing it right here on this drive.
Ball's on the near hash mark at the 21-yard line. Lakota West looking for the cherry on top of the sundae tonight. And the throw, it's a one-hopper out to the far side, incomplete. They had the screen set up for Brennan Remy. Blockers downfield. If he gets that ball with any height, he might have had 6 on that one.
And Mitch knows it again. It's just, you know, sometimes you get in this little funk as a quarterback. You know, it's kind of like a pitcher. Sometimes you just got to throw a strike and that gets you off the schneid, you know? And that's what Mitch Bolden needs right now. He needs to throw a strike. That's what he needs right now. And, you know, I'm sure that he'll be able to get there. But, yeah, it's 2 screenplays now on this drive where he has severely underthrown the football.
Well, and give Hamilton credit. They have defended the pass pretty well here, especially in the second half. 2nd and 10 as they motion Lloyd, and now it's a play action, and they set up the screen again. Here's Gonzalez to the goal line. Goodbye. There's your exclamation point. 37-0 Lakota West.
Well, he figured it out there, and that's where Mitch Bolden threw his strike, right there. Great play call. They went right back to the screen that has worked for them all night long. Mitch Bolden took control of that drive right there. 6 more points for the Firebirds.
So something to keep in mind, and I don't think this is just against Hamilton, because you think about the way they've pursued the quarterback, or at least the run game tonight, and the point after is good, 38-0. So those throwback screens are particularly effective when you over-pursue from the defensive side. So there are some teams, like perhaps the Mason Comets, who West will see next week, that might not over-pursue. So we'll have to see if they throw this out against them here in Beckett Ridge next week.
And what I think you will see is you're going to just see kind of a different defensive mentality with Mason. They're going to play a little bit more sound, a little bit more bass, and when you do that, you're able to trace your steps back very, very quickly, because that's the number one rule. When you recognize a screenplay is happening, you immediately start tracing your steps backwards to where you were so you can be in position to make the tackle. So I think you're going to start seeing that come down next week. But, yeah, the over-pursuing, that's where you're going to get them. And right now Coach Bouchamp's basically saying, hey, if you're going to keep doing it on me the entire night, I'm going to keep throwing the screens. And that's what he's done literally the entire night.
7-play drive that goes 47 yards, capped off by the 22-yarder. Bolden to Gonzalez. Point after is good. It took 5-11 off the board, and this one goes into the end zone for a touchback. And our brand-new score after the point after, 38-0.
Really just taking control. And, again, I've been so impressed with Mitch Bolden. You know, we know that he's banged up. He was banged up after the last game against Princeton. You know, we even saw, you know, him, you know, kind of go down here a little bit, or at least was struggling, limping on the sideline a little bit. So, you know, I've just been impressed with his command and his ability to command this offense. It hasn't been, you know, you look at the score, you say it's 38-0. You know, there have been times in this game where Lakota West has kind of faltered. I think Coach Bolden took a timeout there on the sideline to kind of talk it over a little bit.
This game is powered by Miami University Regionals, accepting applications for 2023 classes. With over 30 majors offered in person and online, you can design a schedule that fits your needs and start earning your Miami degree, conveniently located in Hamilton, Middletown, Westchester, and online. Learn more at miamioh.edu/regionals. Along with Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Chatterbox Plus. 38-0, and we'd expect no less from the third-ranked team in the state. And by the way, speaking of rankings, The game that West had against Princeton last week was so dominating in the eyes of the voters that it took a top 5 team in Princeton out of the top 10.
Right.
They dropped to 12th this week.
Right. So, and I think what you're going to see is that game is going to provide a lot of computer points for Lakota West as well.
And a run play for a couple.
I mean, let's face it here, Jeff, right now, you look at Lakota West, the next big one they got coming up will be against Fairfield, and that'll be an interesting one coming up. Mason, yes, Mason, another big one coming up.
And we'll be here for it.
Yeah, Coach Kastner's got his crew, the Comets, rolling right now.
And we don't know what they're doing tonight, and the quarterback bumps into the running back, and honestly, Cameron McKinney is lucky to get any kind of yardage on that one to bring up third down.
Yeah. So, again, third and, Hamilton's been in 3rd and long. I'll call it 3rd and 6 manageable for him.
By the way, the second team is in for Lakota West on defense.
And I think that's a smart route. That's a smart thing for Coach Bolden to do at this point.
Well, as you had mentioned early in this ball game and in our pregame, there was a little bit of chatter between the two schools prior to this game. And there was a statement that West wanted to make in this ball game, knowing that they were the better team. And McKinney is pushed back.
Pushed back hard there.
Sam Darla in on the stop with Aaron Cayo. 4th down. And another punting situation.
So, yeah, I think this is good game management by Coach Bolden. I think he left Mitch in there to really get him just juiced up and get him just, ride out that injury a little bit, Play at some point throughout, you got to play hurt.
Trying to see who the punt returner is. He calls for the fair catch. 30 is Finn Mason, who we've not called his name before. He takes it at the 40-yard line. So 34 yards on the punt, nothing on the return, and with 3:37 left to go, Lakota West can just simply run out the clock.
Yeah, pretty much.
If they so choose.
Yeah, right now I think you're going to get your second team guys in. It's supposed to be the JV offense in for Lakota West right now. And, yeah, just, hey, go out there, execute. This is where, honestly, coaches need to coach even harder, and probably the hardest they've coached all night long right here in this series with these young guys.
They're going to spot the ball officially at the 32-yard line. I'm sorry, the 42. The 42. 3.5 to play. I would imagine that's Nolan Parker that's now in there. And looks like it's going to be a loss on the play, and a big loss on the play indeed. So a big push up front by Hamilton. Wes Fox cleaned things up as he worked over the running back, Cordell Adkins. So Cordell, 5'11", 195 pounds, a junior, but there was kind of a tricky transition on the handoff, and then by the time he got his footing, he had nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go with it, yeah, and just kind of got to live to fight another down at that point.
Parker the keep. I believe that's Parker, by the way.
Sam Wiles on the grab there. I think he's at quarterback.
He is at 5'10", 163 pounds, just a sophomore.
Good job by him to, grab the ball there and fall forward down the sideline, up the middle there for the quarterback. He's not necessarily the biggest guy in the world, but again, good job there at the mesh point. He rode it right. He did everything right there and picked up a nice game for Lakota West.
3rd and 15. By the way, I do love the fact that we're getting parental help on rosters, on guys that we don't know.
There
yes,
it is.
This
Absolutely.
beer's for you, buddy.
Yeah.
3rd and 15.
I don't think people realize, I say we got a flag here now from the back judge. The delay a game. Gotta look up, man. Look at those big numbers. They're staring at you.
Well, so tell me, because you know this a little bit better than I. When you're seeing varsity action, I don't want to say for the first time, but you're seeing minutes, actual minutes there. That clock rolls very fast.
Very, very fast. Oh, yeah. The speed of a varsity game versus a JV game is night and day. Oh.
Wiles throws. It's incomplete. I think there was a cross-up on the play because he was looking for the out route.
Yeah.
Davion McCoy was out in the flat. Nobody was 5 yards around him, and McCoy gave him the what for.
Be interesting to see moving down here how they handle that. But, yeah, that was just an errant pass. And, this is all about film right now. Get these guys on film, get them used to playing in these big game situations in front of big crowds right here, and just be, coach them up tomorrow morning in the film room. That's going to be the biggest part.
Under a minute to play.
And they're going to hold him here. Yeah, you just tell your punter, wait till that clock gets down, and then punt it.
Well, heck, even take the 5 yards even at this point.
Yeah, you could. And it looks like that might be what they're going to do is just take the penalty, and that'll reset the clock. Well, honestly, that might be it right there. I forgot about the running clock for a second.
Clock continues to churn. We see 25 on the play clock, and we'll see if that actually moves, if at all. We may see one more play here. We do have a punt return coming, at least forthcoming to be set up. And with the play clock not moving, we're not going to see another play.
That'll be it right there.
And that's the final play. Another fine win here tonight for the state's number 3 team, Lakota West. They pitch a 38-0 shutout tonight of Hamilton as they improve to 6-0 on the season. Hamilton falls to 2-4.
Well, I think it's everything that you and I expected out of this Lakota West team. And, you said it first. The number 3, team in the state, you expect them to come out here and dominate, and they dominated really from the first play from scrimmage all the way down. So, I mean, that's the way it goes, for Hamilton right now. With them, I will say with Hamilton, they had some, they were at the line of scrimmage. They caused some, disruptions, we'll call it, for Lakota West, especially at the line of scrimmage. So they'll get in the film room and take a look at that and break that down, I'm sure, for Lakota West. But now, all eyes go to Mason now, which is going to be really a big game, a game that honestly may or may not decide the GMC.
Yeah, next week is going to be very interesting as Mason coming in, and we don't know what they're doing tonight, but at 4-0 in conference coming into this one, they are still in control of their own destiny, and that is something to be said about this one as we go forth. This game took 2 hours and 5 minutes to complete. A whitewashing tonight by the Red Sea, 38-0 over the Big Blue, as we get colorful here, I guess, with our metaphors tonight. Mitch Bolden accounted for 5 touchdowns tonight, 3 throwing, 2 rushing. Yeah. 2 rushing touchdowns. Now, they were short rushing touchdowns. I think, if nothing else, as we prepare for our play of the game, powered by headlines, I have to tell you, the thing that I take away from tonight's game is that throwback screen.
Well, and I think the throwback screens, and we saw a couple of them here tonight, that was a new dynamic to this offense that you and I had not really seen a whole heck of a lot of throughout. I go really that second play, that second touchdown where they ran their first one, which threw everybody off, including me and you, a little bit there. So I think that's an interesting dynamic that we're going to see. But again, that's you hit the nail right on the head. That second touchdown was huge, and that's the play of the game for me.
The second touchdown.
The second touchdown, absolutely. Yeah, that throwback. Hey, the first one, we've seen that too many times. I'm not going for the easy ones. That second one there on the throwback, the first throwback screen down here on the sideline.
And the one that went to Hartford for the touchdown.
Exactly.
And that's our play of the night, powered by Headline Sportswear. And we expect to see that on Twitter here tonight. Partner, I have to tell you, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's our presence. I'm not sure if it is or not, but the last 2 that we've seen here in Beckett Ridge, shutouts by the home team. Yeah, good shutouts. Their defense has played well. One thing I just noticed here, Coach Bolden had his team, something I hadn't seen him do all year long. He talked to him here on the sideline. He was pretty fired up there. So I think he realizes, hey, this is the meat of the season now. All right, this is where we're going to make or break our season. We got the playoffs coming up. We got big games against Mason, Fairfield that we need to win. And then right now, looking forward, I know this is looking really far forward, putting the cart before the horse, but, you start kind of preparing yourself for that matchup again against probably a Moeller in the playoffs. Let's give you a quick scoring summary in this one. The game winner, believe it or not, came with 10 seconds into the first quarter. It was a 55-yard catch and run by Ben Minich from Mitch Bolden to get on the board from the game's first play from scrimmage. 55 yards. Point after is good, 7-0. Then with 5:21 left to go in the first, it was 10-0 on a Tyler Bond 46-yard field goal. Our play of the night, powered by Headlines, capped off a 2-play drive. It was an 18-yard touchdown pass from Bolden to Hartford. Point after is good, 17-0. And to close out period number 1, Bolden with a 10-yard touchdown run up the middle to make it 24-0 after the point after. We didn't have another score until the end of the third period. It was a Bolden 1-yard touchdown run with no time remaining in the third. Point after is good, 31-0, and then Bolden to Gonzalez on, again, that throwback screen, this time from 22 yards out to that north end, that same end that Hartford scored on. Point after is good. And with 5:37 left to go, that was the capper, 38-0 tonight. Final thoughts on this one?
Hey, another dominant performance by, the number 3 team in the state. You don't expect anything less out of them, right? So we got a big one, though, coming up next week. Mason right now, they're up 14-0. We're up 14-0 over on Lakota East, so maybe a little bit closer than what I thought it might be there. But, again, this is going to be a force to be reckoned with coming in here tomorrow, next week.
Quick gander at schedules. First for Hamilton, they have Fairfield next week. So you want to go from the frying pan and into the oven. I guess that's what you got there. And then it's Oak Hills and Coleraine on visits, and then they'll wrap up their home season against Sycamore at home. Meanwhile, it'll be Mason next week in a game you and I should be seeing. And if we have any pull with Reed Mouse, you and I will be seeing that game here in Beckett Ridge.
Wink, wink, tap, tap, right?
Yes, absolutely. Followed by road trips to Fairfield in Week 8, and then Middletown after that in Week 9, and then Coleraine at home back here in Beckett Ridge in Week 10 to wrap up the regular season. I don't know if I would say that this was an interesting one. Certainly was a fun one in points here tonight.
Absolutely, for sure.
All right, well, partner, we'll see you in week number 7.
Absolutely, can't wait.
Again, the final score tonight in a game that took 2 hours and 5 minutes, 38-0 the final. Lakota West, the winner over Hamilton. West improves to 6-0. Hamilton falls to 2-4 on the season. Thanks go out to our videographer tonight, Jay Wheeler. For Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. Good night from Beckett Ridge.